Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The Bold and the Beautiful early weekly spoilers for March 16th through 20th suggest Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, is completely losing it, and Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, playing even dirtier than she was before, if you can imagine that. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we start with what is coming the rest of this week, and then we're going to dive into what is ahead for next week. So on Wednesday, March 11th, we've got Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, up at Il Giardino talking to Hope Logan, Annika Knoll. This is a carryover from the past episode, and he is asking for an update on Will and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. But Will wants to know what is going on with Dylan, Sydney Bullock. And of course, Will is very worried about why Dylan took off and went up to Forrester Creations, but bottom line is, Hope does not know why. And I'm curious if she will tell Will the same kind of thing that she was telling Dylan about how Electra's had this cushy life and she really doesn't understand hardship, because Will has had a life like that. So I'm curious if Hope will bring that up or not, because she and Dylan seem more eye to eye because they grew up in similar economic situations. Ridge Forrester loses his cool because Bill is going to stand his ground on Wednesday, and he's making it very clear to Brooke Logan and Ridge Hay that he and Katie Logan are using Eric's designs, period. They are bought and paid for. Whew, that does not go over well. Ridge absolutely explodes, scares the caterer. Bill's complaining there's no dessert, and then Ridge is just railing at Katie, asking if she wants to be remembered for stealing. And she insists that she and Eric collaborated for weeks on the designs, but then Brooke slams Katie and says, "You didn't create anything." And then Bill is losing it too, and telling Ridge, "Don't you dare talk to my wife like that." So obviously this conciliatory dinner is going to go down in flames. Eric, meanwhile, is spending some time reconnecting with R.J. Forrester. Eric is up at the Forrester Creations design office, and R.J. is telling his granddad that Forrester Creations is your home. So I'm hoping we get a clue during this conversation from Eric about whether he's going to wrap things up with Logan, finish what he promised Katie, and then come back to Forrester, or if he's just cutting things off with Logan and back at Forrester already to stay. Dylan is more than thrilled to accept Steffi Forrester's job offer, and she wants to know Dylan's full name for HR, and she says her name is Melissa Dillon, and her parents call her Ms. Dillon. Now, problem is, they introduced Ms. Dillon as this art teacher, and I don't think they were going to keep her around. It was one of those cases like, oh, we really like the actress, but they were already calling her Ms. Dillon, and then just Dillon, and she's been in the credits for a while now as Melissa Dillon, and I was wondering how they were ever going to do that. Hopefully, they're just going to stick to calling her Dillon, because that's how we all know her, right? Thursday, March 12th, leading up to Logan's big press conference launch, Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, is chatting up VIP Dottie, Morgan Fairchild, and her assistant, Joseph, Jim J. Bullock, at the Spencer Publications offices. They've got fashion press there, they've got VIPs, it's going to be a huge event, and they have built a showroom set. Now, to me, that means that Logan isn't going anywhere, because that's a pretty spendy set to construct for a one-off. Meanwhile, Katie is having to defend herself and her actions to Brooke yet again, and I'm sure it's about using Eric's designs and pushing forward with the launch of Logan, which Brooke feels like the designs are stolen, the name is stolen. Katie feels like she's entitled to use it. Fans are split equally. Elsewhere, Electra is very unhappy when Dylan shares her big news, and I'm sure this is about Steffi giving Dylan a job at Forrester Creations, and of course, Electra isn't going to want Dylan anywhere near her after she kissed Will and broke her rules, and it was just not proper.
Friday, March 13th, we've got Bill and Katie putting Eric's designs right onto the runway over at the Spencer Tower for the press conference. We've got models there, we've got gowns, and then Katie it's the Logan runway with Bill, announcing a new name in LA fashion, and it is Logan. So Katie's making a speech at Logan's debut event. They've got the dresses produced from Eric's designs, they got models, a full house, a whole big thing. And Ridge and Brooke have the audacity to crash, and they interrupt Katie's press conference. I'm sure there's going to be a huge scene, and I cannot wait to see how messy this is going to get. The week of March 16th through the 20th, I expect Elektra to go rant to Ivy that Steffi has hired Dylan at Forrester Creations, the person that Ivy, you know, has told Elektra was basically seducing Will and being totally inappropriate. And I would not be surprised if Ivy marched into the CEO office to demand that Steffi rescind the job offer, take it back. You know, Ivy is way more confrontational than Elektra, but I don't think anything she says will get Steffi to cooperate. She doesn't even like Ivy, we all know that, right? And if she gives Steffi the whole "it's not proper" thing, I think Steffi might hand that right back to her. And hopefully that will inspire Dylan to tell Steffi what she saw about the letter and about Elektra and all that. Meanwhile, RJ isn't going to give up on trying to make Elektra his now that she and Will are officially and completely split. Will and Elektra's communication is terrible. You know, Will didn't tell Elektra he saw her with RJ, and you know Ivy's in the mix, driving them apart. So contrived. Plus, Ivy keeps pushing Elektra and RJ. We're going to get a lot more of that. And I could actually see Ivy going to Dylan and telling her to go away and threaten her. And I don't think Steffi's going to tolerate that. I don't think anybody's going to tolerate that, except Elektra and Ivy. Hope and Brooke are not going to give up on Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes having a future. And if Hope hears about Steffi ranting and demanding they end things, you know, Hope may decide she's on a matchmaking mission. Meanwhile, Deacon and Taylor are fighting their urges. You know, they did say goodbye. Deacon is trying to recommit to Sheila Carter, but he's head over heels in love with Taylor, who is terrified of losing her family. This is all about Steffi's ultimatum, but in the end, I don't think Deacon and Taylor can stand being apart. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers confirm that a couple makes love for the first time in the month of March. I absolutely think it's Deacon and Taylor. I don't think Will is going to go down that road with Dylan anytime soon, and I don't think Elektra is going to go hop in bed with RJ, and that really leaves only Deacon and Taylor. Things are going to get a lot more intense between Dylan and Ivy. I expect Dylan to tell Elektra everything pretty soon, despite what Ivy said, and I do expect some threatening antics from Ivy. She's just getting out of control. I don't think I'm going to miss the character when Ashley Brewer has to go out on maternity leave. This is so unlike the Ivy from years ago. Things get heated between Brooke, Katie, Bill, and Ridge after the Logan fashion show. I mean, heck, during it, really. And Bill and Katie are going to have to do damage control at the press conference after whatever stunt that Ridge and Brooke pull. And there's going to be big fallout, and I'm sure Eric's going to have some things to say about all of this. That's your Bold and the Beautiful early weekly spoiler outlook.